What's good, y'all? I'm Matty Ice, and today's topic of conversation is James Harden the biggest playoff flop in NBA history? I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes. And I think it's because he does three things critically well. That is foul bait. And I say, number one, he foul baits. He's probably the best foul baiter in the NBA, one of the best. I think him, Trae Young. So foul baiting, it just does not work during the playoffs. That's what I noticed because the refs let a lot more physical play go. So they're not quick to blow the whistle. I think that's why Giannis has struggled recently. I think that's why Embiid has struggled as well to win. Giannis has at least won one, but similar player types. Trey, could throw him in that category. Players that are prolific foul baiters, their strategy doesn't work as well in the playoffs. And I think, like I said, James Harden, when I think of foul baiting, he's like the first person that I would say comes to mind. He is the ultimate foul baiter. And he's great at it. And it works sometimes, even in the playoffs. But it just, they won't call, in the playoffs, they allow more physicality. That's why a player like Kawhi is very effective still, because he doesn't do all the foul baiting. That's why a player like Jokic is very effective still, because he doesn't do all the foul baiting, and so forth and so on. Steph, you could name them, right? Also, and then number two, why he struggles is because, I'd say it's really the biggest are just one and two, and number two are he doesn't play defense. And I think the modern NBA is actually shifting towards more defense in the playoffs wins championships. Two-way players that defend, win championships. The Jason Tatums, the Jaylen Browns, you don't have to be a prolific defender to be effective, but your team has to be good at defending. And if you're playing X amount of minutes and you're putting in a very low defensive effort, that's where it goes. So, for example, like Steph, he isn't a prolific defender. He at least tries, though. He puts in the effort, right? But they have other players that are really, really good defenders. So it kind of makes up for it, right? Same thing with LeBron. LeBron isn't like a prolific defender. Good defender. But, he's played with other players that have helped, like Anthony Davis when he won his last championship. But his lack of defense is also kind of leads into my third point, which is like, as a leader, that right there, I feel like it just doesn't resonate. And I feel like we saw a peak of it with Luka. Luka doesn't defend at all. And I think he got pretty far doing that. About as far as we may see for a while, from just completely one-way players. And keep in mind, guys, look at players that won a lot of championships. Look at Kareem, good defender, great defender. LeBron, good defender. Steph puts in effort, all of them. Michael Jordan has won a Defensive Player of the Year, great defender. Bill Russell, most championships, known as a defensive player. So I think the leadership and the defending go hand in hand. So, as in, it's mostly an effort thing, right? And that's the difference between Steph and James Harden. Steph at least tries. So other players on the team are going to try, right? And some players are going to be better than Steph at defending, and so forth and so on. When your best player is defending at a high level and putting in high level effort, it makes a huge difference. And I know this from playing. I play soccer. It's very similar in soccer. And I've been captain and done things like that. So I understand the leadership and how that works. Like, you have to lead by example. Same thing as a parent. If you're a parent, you have to lead by example. You have to lead by example. You have to lead by example, right? That's what great leaders do. So, and James Harden, he doesn't lead by example defensively at all. So, he's a great individual player. And can he win a championship? Yes. Can he win a championship as, I would say, the second option? Probably not, unless the first option is like Michael Jordan or prime LeBron James. Can he win as the number one option? No. And we've seen that. We've seen that. Right? We've seen that. So overall, I had to really think about that deeply, and I understand why he's ineffective in the playoffs. He'll have some good games, and then others, like I said, when he's not getting the foul baiting and he's not defending, because the way defense works in the playoffs is totally different. Like players really try to play defense, and like if you're not defending, like I said, and you're playing X amount of minutes, because the starters will play more minutes. If you're not defending and you're playing X amount of minutes, boom, bye, see ya, bye Lakers and Luka, bye James Harden and the crew. So that's my take on James Harden. Again, great player, great individual player. You know, can win a championship if he's like the third option or so. You know, heck, coming off the bench. It's the last time he went to a championship, right? That's really it, y'all. Let me know what you guys think. Matty Ice, #1 sports taker on YouTube. Peace out.